again. I'm just going to be real honest with you. In my life right now, since 2020, I've been slowly on a journey of re-seeking the Lord. And He's amped it up. The more that I ask for more of Him, more passion of Him, more revelation of Him, and understanding of Him, and relationship with Him, the more you ask for any of that, the more He will give you. So be careful what you ask for, because it's not always popular, convenient, or approved of by those around you. Let me say that in 2022, I was doing the normal Christian thing in America. That is going to church every Sunday and Sunday morning and seeing your friends and people and family. I was going to Bible studies, so I was doing extra Christian stuff. I was going to Bible studies and talking with more people about scripture. I was in a small group that talked about, that met kind of regularly and really got into some books that Christian authors write. And I was even volunteering at my church. So I was giving back and doing everything that I thought that God wanted from me. And I was greeting at the church. I was a greeter, so anyone who came in, I just wanted to say, welcome, you are loved. I am glad you're here. Like, that was my heart's intent, right? So I'm talking to the Lord in 2022, and I said, I want more of you, I want more of you, I want more of you. And He finally said, if you want more of me, you're going to have to give up some things in order for me to have time and attention to teach you. And I was like, okay. Can you tell me like what level we're at? And He goes, you are a toddler. You are sucking on a blankie. You are sucking on a pacifier holding blankies. Blankies in America are those little cloth pieces that are like a security blanket. Like when you're scared, you hold on to your blanket. When you're scared, you put that little sucker thing in your mouth, pacifier. Babies in general in America do that. And the parents allow it so they don't suck their thumbs, so they don't have to get braces when they're teenagers and pay expensive amounts of orthodontal appointments and hardware in their mouth. So I was one of those. So my point was, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean I'm holding on to things that I think are a security blanket for me, but it's not letting me trust in my parent, God the Father? When I was talking to God about it, He said, what is something that you're doing actively that if you said, Lord, I give you this thing and I'm going to not do it until you say, come back and do it. He said, if you verbally offer this to me, and we're talking by ourselves, if you verbally offer this to me and you hear a voice in your head, it will sound different. But if you hear a voice that is appalled or upset or any negative critical response, then what you have offered me is one of your blankies that you're holding on to. That is not growing you, that is not maturing you, that is not helping you in your relationship with me. And I was like, all right, this conversation is weird. I'm just going to tell you. Lord, I don't know how else to put it, but you sound crazy. So you know what? There was no response to that. That's fine. I was like, look, I'm just going to try it because you told me directly. I'm just going to try it. It sounds crazy. Okay. So I said, okay, Lord, what do I do that I could give up? Well, I am a greeter at my church and I love it. I love the people. I love being there. I love the body. I love welcoming people in the doors. I love talking to them and seeing how they're doing, how their week went, encouraging them, praying with them, all of it, Lord. Lord, if I offer this to you, you will give it back to me when you want to. Lord, I offer you my position at the church of being a greeter. And once I said that, the words out of my mouth, immediately in my head, this angry, horrible, nasally female voice goes, I can't believe you would give up a commitment that you made to the body of Christ. So you are going back on your word, and I can't believe that if you don't greet people into the church, nobody will be greeted. And I was like, wait a minute. What was that? That is not my voice. My voice is lower. That was a mean, upset voice. And God goes, well, that was your pride saying, what will people think? What will people do if I'm so important and I am not there at the church? Nobody will get greeted. By the way, there was a greeting team. It wasn't big, but it was a good greeting team. There were other people. There are other people to talk to in that church when you go there. So everybody is supposed to greet everyone else together. You're supposed to be a body connected, greeting together, not just a greeter at a door. This one person is not the sole thing that invites someone into God's house. Let me put it that way. I thought I was really big stuff. And God was saying, you're not. You did a good job. People can see what a greeter's heart looks like. I need you to step back. I need other people to step up. I need there to be a gap so that other people can fill in. Because Crystal, if other people believe what you're believing, which is that Crystal's greeting everybody, I'm not needed, then they won't step into and step up and do and help serve the body in the way that they can, or help mature them in the way that I want them to grow. And I was like, okay. And he goes, and by the way, your pride, no one else could see. But it was something that was really obvious to me because I see your heart. I see you meant well, but it got away from you and nobody checked it. I was like, okay. So I did. I went and I turned in my name badge and it did not go over well. I was told I was wrong. And then I was told that they were developing a group and a team and they were going to put my name on it and it was going to be great. I was like, no. Again, that would have fed into my issue of pride, which was confirmation enough to me to say no thank you. And I was done. I was like, and I was unanchored. I was like, oh no, Lord, now what do I do when I'm here at this church building? And he goes, why don't you go sit with your husband in the pews? He has been sitting there by himself while you have done your work when this is what I gave you. I was like, okay, novel concept. Let me go sit with my husband. So I did. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. The thing was, he said blankies plural. That means there's more than one. So I was thinking and I was like, okay, Lord, what else can I give you? So I go to Bible studies at night and I talk to people that love you and I talk to about your word. Like we were studying Acts, which is like the beginning of your foundation of the church after Jesus left and went back to heaven. So then, and I was trying to like bait him. I was like, then Lord, I want to keep this one because next year we're going to go into the Psalms. It's going to be, you know, David had a heart after you. And so I really do want to be in that Psalm study. And I waited for it. Oh, and that mean voice came back. That mean, horrible, nasally, judgmentally voice said, I said, I give this up to you, Lord. And I waited and she came. And that voice said, I can't believe you would give up your one night to go be with your friends and talk about what's going on in their lives. And I can't believe you would take the one thing away that you as a stay-at-home mom get to leave the house every week and go spend time with adults away from your kids. I can't believe you would give that up. And I was like, whoa, I said, whoa, stop. You mean to tell me that the only reason I'm going to Bible study, I'm sorry, something got in my eye. Whatever, we'll blink through it. The only reason I'm going to Bible study is to only time I talk to people, and you did not mention anything about studying the word or applying the word in your life or any of that. I was like, Lord, what is wrong with her? And by the way, my husband is not a babysitter for me. I don't have to escape my children. I have chosen to be a stay-at-home mom. Yes, before I had kids, I will fully admit, my dad said to me, Crystal, when you have kids, you will want to stay home. And I was like, you are crazy. You noticed the theme? If I don't believe you, I don't believe you. So, it sounded crazy to me. But when I had my first child, I was like, I'm not giving this up if I don't have to. I want to teach him in these developing years while I still can before he goes off to school and he spends more time with other people than me. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. Is it hard sometimes? Yes. Is there sometimes when we need to get out and be with other people? Yes. But that was not the reason to be in a Bible study, right? And I had been using it wrong. I'm not saying Bible studies aren't good. I'm not saying God can't use them, because he totally did for me the year before. But my point was, he saw deeper into my heart and said, by the way, you are using it as a lazy social thing. Everybody kind of convenes and everyone talks and we kind of know each other. And we maybe share a couple prayer requests. But Crystal, you're not investing in their lives. You're not calling them up during the week. You're not dropping things off at their house. You're not really invested in their lives. That is a not living together. That is just an experience once a week. And it's literally as if you had a meeting and everybody said, yes, we'll meet there, right? So it's not as deep as friendships as I want for your life. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give you that one. And then the thought popped in my head, God likes threes. And I thought, no, God likes twos also. Remember Adam and Eve, sun and the moon. And he goes, and the stars. I was like, Adam and Eve. And he goes, and me. I was like, oh, he likes threes. Oh, no, he likes threes. Okay, so what else do I even have socially? You're really whittling it down, Lord. I don't have a lot socially going on. What's another commitment? Oh, yeah, I have another Bible study. And it's Bible Study Fellowship International. And I go to it. And we do a 4-part study. We get a set of questions to look through a certain passage of the scriptures that they're studying for that year. Like say they're studying the book of John. Then you go through the first chapter in 1 week and someone will have already given you questions so that you read it and answer the questions like on your own one-on-one with God. Okay? And then you go to a small group once a week and you talk about and discuss, what did God say to you? What did he reveal to you? What came to your mind? What happened in your life that week? You talk in a small group. And then you go to a bigger lecture where another person says, I have felt called to be in this position and to help you understand more of the Word of God. So you hear a sermonette, lecture, whatever you call it. And then the fourth part is that you will get a handful of notes. So a deep dive of what other people have studied historically speaking, studied what the deeper meaning is from the original context of Hebrew, whatever it is, right? And then gives like application questions, like really get this into your life. This sounds good, right? This totally is a great Bible study. And God told me. And so I said, hey, Lord, this is what I have. I have BSF, and I even do it with my mom. And I bring my kids. Well, I mean, I guess next year my kids will be in school. So this year, I mean, I guess I won't be bringing my kids next year. But I do. I go and I see my mom and I see some of my friends. And Lord, I offer Bible study fellowship to you. And I waited. Guess what happened? No, that mean voice came back again. And she said, I can't believe you would give up your one strong connection to reading the scriptures. I can't believe you would give up let your mom down so that she would not get to see her grandkids like the other ones of her friends in her class get to see their grandkids, and have their kids come to Bible study with them. And I can't believe you would let her down like that. And I was like, wait a minute, Lord, when did I go to Bible study fellowship for my mom? Like, I love my mom, and that was a great thing for us to do, and she did that with her mom. But that doesn't mean that my relationship with my mom is only based on going to that Bible study together. If that's the only time we see each other, that's, again, like the Wednesday night Bible study, that's a lazy way to do a relationship. It's a convenient thing. I'm not going to get to know my mom really well and have great conversations if we just see each other and sit together for a lecture sermon. That's not integrating my relationship with her. Now, if I had done this and said, hey, Mom, we're in this Bible study together, and afterwards we're always going to go have lunch on a different day, and we're going to like talk about our day and talk about our week and talk about what we learned and talk about what God had for us, that would be a more intentional way to do relationship with my mom. My mom seeing her grandkids is fine, like is great. She's proud of her grandkids in front of her friends. That's great. But to do something for the Lord, for another person specifically, when you could be doing it another time. I actually could have been more intentional and said, hey, Mom, I know the kids want to see you. Why don't we set up more and more time together? So that you get to know them and they get to know you, and they get to experience the relationship that I had with my grandmother, your mother. So her mom came to live with my family when I was in the 5th grade. My grandmother became my best friend. And I would run home in the afternoons, and I would do anything at school I could think of just so that I could run home and tell Birdie what I had done at school that day. That was how much I loved my grandmother. She was my best friend all throughout, middle school, high school, college. Anyway, and then she died when I was in college. But my point is that I wanted that relationship with my parents and my kids. But I wasn't being intentional. I was being lazy again. And God was like, Crystal, that is not, 1, how I want your relationship with your mom to go. 2, how your relationship with your kids to go. And 3, you open up the scriptures. You, Crystal, have been opening up the scriptures to answer the questions so that you can go talk to your friends and sound important and wise and smart. He goes, it's not that you haven't been following me, but when you do those questions, you really are doing it and talking with me to share with others, not to come back and change your heart. Not so I can come back and say, so if God showed me in one of those questions that I really wasn't trusting him, I would be like, whoa, I'm not trusting him. That's a huge revelation for me. I would close the Bible and I would run to Bible study and I would say, guys, he showed me I'm not trusting him. And they'd be like, wow. And then we would all talk about it. God was like, woohoo, still was here, right here. I still wanted you to hear that I told you you don't trust me. So now I want you to come trust me. I want you to come fix that. But Crystal, you didn't want to fix anything. And Crystal, you can't blame anybody else. It's literally the relationship is God and me. And I was not turning back to him. I turned back and focused on other people. And he said, look, this is great. You love other people well. You love my scriptures well. You need to love me. We're going next level. And I was like, okay. So again, I had to give up those three things. And by the end of that conversation, I was like, look, Lord, I'm exhausted. I am done. I am over it. I have one thing left. Going to church on Sunday mornings. And I said, Lord, you are going to have to actually physically, audibly command me not to go to church in order to get me out of that church, because that's the only thing I have left outside of my family. That's where I socialize. That's where I love people. That's where I listen to your word. I am not giving that up. Absolutely not. No response. And I was like, great. So I, in my heart, said, case closed. Have you ever read a book and you're like, I have to flip the chapter now, but I'm pretty sure I know what happens next? Yes, you do. That was April of 2022. June 2022. I really hurt my back. I tried to carry my child on a walk, which was not good. Even my husband said, hey, this is not a good idea. And then I played in the pool and I was bent over and playing pool noodles and stuff. And that wasn't a good position either. And the next day, literally, was Sunday. I had a hard time moving at all. It was really painful. I was barely up. But I went to church because it's Sunday. That's what you do. So I went to church, only hugged like 2 people. Because remember, I'm not a greeter anymore. Only hugged like 2 people and then busted out of there as fast as I could because I was in pain. So I go home and I'm like, my husband, I was like, sweetheart, you're going to have to take care of the kids. You're going to have to run the house. We're going to have to find a doctor. I can't move. And he's like, oh, you pulled your back. I will take you to the gym and we'll let you swim to see if it'll help it out. And then I will let you rest on the bed for a couple days and we'll see what we can do. And then we'll see if we can take you to a doctor, if we need to take you to a doctor. And I was like, okay, cautious, fine with me. We would go to the gym and that would be the only thing I did all day out of bed. I went and swam. And of course, when I'm swimming, I am talking to God because I'm like, wait a minute. There's no one else to talk to when you're swimming. You can't have earbuds in the water. So again, just me and God. I was like, God, you know what? So Father's Day is coming up on Sunday. And I've gotten my earthly dad's coffee, like the favorite coffee that they love. And I know I'm 38 years old and now I'm asking you. So if you're in my Heavenly Father and you're the creator of the universe and you own everything, what possibly could I give you as a Father's Day gift? I'm thinking this and I'm thinking there's no way he's got an answer, right? Yeah, that's how God and I work. And I'm going to be honest with him because that's how he made me and he knows my thoughts anyway. So to be honest, I don't think there's anything I can get you, but I'm going to ask you, is there anything I can give you? And so fast, in my head, audible voice like mountain audible male voice came into my head, and it's only been in my head a couple times in my entire life. And it literally, the Lord said to me, I want you to not go to church on Sunday morning and come spend one-on-one time with me. Period. Thankfully, I didn't drown. So I'm in the pool at the YMCA, and I'm in the shallow end. Thank you, Lord, that you did it then. And I stand up. I stop doing laps. I stop moving. I hold my breath, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I have to review what the sentence you said. You literally don't want me to go to church on Sunday mornings. You want me to spend one-on-one time with you instead. Did I hear that right? And he goes, yep. I was like, okay, you know that, remember back in April, so June and April, not that far away from each other. Remember back in April when we talked about this and I said, I'm not going unless you command me? He goes, yeah. Do you want to command your children every time to do something in a relationship with you? Or do you want them to do it out of love and interest in you? Do you want to command them to spend time and play cards together or read a book together? Or do you want them to come to you with a book or cards and say, look, I want to spend time with you? I was like, of course, I don't want to command them. And he's like, I'm not going to command anybody to do that. You have to make the choice. But you, Crystal, have been asking for more of me. So I am literally asking you, you offered me, what gift can you give me? And I'm literally asking you to come spend one-on-one time with me intentionally, away from all the people that you love, in that experience of church service on the mornings. So you know that it's just you and me talking, right, Lord? Yep. Okay. So you know this is not, no one else is going to understand this. And he said, Crystal, you have been asking for more of me. I am telling you what I want you to do for you. Like, okay. I of course will obey. And I of course have offered this to you, so I'm not like going to re-gift it and say like, no, you ask too much, Lord. But I just want to let you know, you're going to have to be with me every step of the way for this, because this sounds like one of the hardest things you have ever said to me in my life. Period. He goes, I am always with you. And of course, if I tell you to do something, I will of course be with you to do it, because you can't do it in your own strength. And I was like, that's right. So then I go and I tell my husband, who didn't believe me at first, because it sounds crazy. Remember that word? And then I go and I tell my community group, because that's the one that I got from church. And that's the one that I have like an allegiance to, right? We have relationship. So I tell that community group. It does not go over well. I will put that mildly. And then I tell my family. I tell my parents. And that doesn't go over well at all either. So I looked back at the Lord and I cried. I said, I don't understand what's going on. I feel all alone, isolated. He goes, you are really good, Crystal, at being around other people and connecting and showing them who you are and trying to live life with others and relying on others. You have built your foundation on humans. Your husband, what he likes, what your parents like, what both or all three of those think. Actually, five. What your parents think of you, what your husband thinks of you, what your friends think of you. You have built your life on that. You have lost your anchor in me. So the building is foundation. So the building looks good on the outside, but the foundation is on other people. So if I took those away, you feel like your building crumbled. And I was like, it did. He goes, that's the point. So Crystal, P.S. guys, I did go to the doctor. I did not get any better. And my back was broken. It was an S curve of my spine instead of a straight up and down holding up your body so that you can move and function. It was literally crumpling. And I couldn't do life with a broken back. And God said to me, Crystal, the foundation of your body, your spine, is broken. You have to go do that full fusion spinal surgery where they open you up completely and they put rods right along your spine and they screw it in with 30 screws, top to bottom. The whole thing. You have to solidify the whole foundation. You will then be literally relying on metal rods and screws to hold up your body so that you can function. I need you in your life to replace your foundation with rods and screws of me. You have to put me at the center, and I will rebuild you. But your back was broken and you didn't know it. Life foundation was broken and you didn't know it. I mean, you could kind of tell. Like sometimes if I was tired, I would kind of go like this. Like I was a little off. And I could kind of tell spiritually that I was a little off because things just felt fine. They felt repetitive. They felt boring. Life felt boring, meaningless. What was the point? God goes, I am the point. You have to have a foundation of me to build on. And I know what I got to do, and I had to do full spinal fusion surgery, which took 12 hours the first day. 4 hours the first day in the front, and 12 hours the second day in the back. I'm 6 months recovered from that, so I'm sitting up straight. But it's going to take a while to recover. Needless to say, God has literally said, I need you to let go of all of the things that you have held on to in life and you trust, so that your whole trust can be in me. And I was like, God, then what's the purpose of life? And he goes, I will tell you. I will show you. It's me. God is the one who makes your life valuable. He's the one who shows you what the plans were for your life. Remember Psalm 139? He's the one who edits your relationships. He's the one who, when you do things for others, then he and his love spills out. But he corrects those he loves. He disciplines those he loves like a good parent. And all you got to do, careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for. Careful what you ask for. Careful what you ask God for. Search my heart and know if there's any iniquity, bad way in me. David in the Psalms. Search me, O God, because I can't see it. got to be pride and envy and doubt and disbelief and fear and lack of trust and judgmentalism, big word, and envy and all those things were in me and so deep that I didn't know it. And he's like, Crystal, you have to redo the foundation. You can spruce up the house, but the foundation is broken. I am going to help you fix your foundation. So that's, to be honest, what I've experienced lately. That is not at all what I was going to share with you, so I'm going to have to make a different video. But I have literally told the Lord, I will share what you want me to share, whether I lose my pride or not. Because my purpose in life is to follow him. That's it. And he will direct my paths. Doesn't mean I have to understand it. Doesn't mean I can't say it's crazy, but I still have to follow it. Just like if your GPS said, go for 30 miles on the freeway, and you're like, great, I know where I'm going. I'm comfortable. I know the speed. I've seen the scenery. I know what we're doing. And then the GPS all of a sudden says, turn right 300 meters ahead. And you look and you're like, that street is not even named, labeled. It's a dirt road with trees around it. I almost missed it. What are you talking about? This is not the freeway that I've known. This is different. And God goes, you need to take this path off the freeway, this dirt road off the freeway to get to the destination I have for you. Okay, you gonna follow your GPS or not? I love you. I'll talk to you later.